So in path planning, we talked briefly about how the configuration of the robot can affect the positions that we can acquire from any particular orientation or pose as we're planning the paths. This is called robot kinematics, and the idea here is that we're trying to predict the output, the resulting position of a robot given its given some inputs, right? Depending on its physical configuration, whatever the radius, whatever the angle of the wheels are, or how far we turn the wheels, how far is the robot going to move, and what is its orientation going to be when it gets there. This is what we're trying to predict. And we can use this as a predictor for how the robot is going to move through the environment, and we can use it backwards to figure out what commands we need to send to the robot in order to get it into a specific position. There's a few kinds of kinematic models. One of the simplest and the ones we're most familiar with is called the Ackerman or simple car model, where we have steered wheels in the front and drive wheels in the back, or four-wheel drive with some kind of steered wheels. Even simpler model is called differential drive, or also known as tank drive, where we've got two wheels that are independently driven and it can like spin in place. More complicated but more flexible configuration is called omnidirectional drive, where we've got a special kind of wheels that allow them to slide sideways, and that allows us to move in any direction from any direction and rotate simultaneously, which is why they call it omnidirectional drive. You can go anywhere at any time, including like rolling sideways and spinning in place, or spinning while you're rolling. All kinds of stuff like that. What we've been considering so far is what's called forward kinematics, where we give a set of instructions and predict the resulting configuration of the robot, where the robot is. But even more importantly sometimes is what's called inverse kinematics. And the idea is we want to reach some goal position. How do I set the configuration? How do I set the commands to do that? And this is a much harder problem because, as you can probably tell, there are a lot of different ways to achieve the same resulting orientation. So we have to figure out, we have to be creative with the algorithms that we use to develop an efficient path that gets us there and allows us to search for that orientation, that set of commands, as easily as possible.